Coming up on the Infected UFO Abductathon, scientific proof that aliens exist. Plus, Gator gets abducted. And Johnny O'Banion tells us which Hollywood celebrities are actually from outer space. Set phasers to fun, it's
Infected.
Hello and welcome to Infected, the show that thinks that a crop circle is when a bunch of hippies sit around in a circle and smoke dank. I'm Internet's Martin Sargent.
Go ahead, don't worry about me. You just had a little straight hair there.
And I'm joined, as always, by a man who's clearly not of this earth. By not of this earth, I mean from the swamps of Florida, the Gator, everyone. How you doing tonight, Gator?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It's our big Infected UFO Abductathon.
I love that.
You believe in aliens?
Yeah, man. I've seen a couple of them.
Really?
Yeah. One time, my buddy Starving Crow and I had this little party out in the swamp. You know, we'd sit around and listen to some music, you know, and have a little campfire.
Peyote?
No, we just drink some whiskey and have a campfire. We did it every now and again. And there was this one time we had this party and this dude was there and he didn't say a word the whole night. He just sat there staring into the campfire. And so after I got a little buzz on, you know, I came up to him. I said, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?" And he looked up at me real slow and he had these big black watery eyes, like about the size of a coffee mug, a circle of a coffee mug. These two eyes, and then he didn't say nothing, but he started talking like his lips weren't moving, but he made this sound like looking right at me. And right then my blood ran cold. I said, "Motherfucker, this guy's an alien." And then we just partied, you know. I just let it fucking roll like that. But he didn't hurt nobody or do nothing. But he was alien.
So that's just it.
I don't know where he come from. At the end of the night, he just wandered back off into the swamp.
This is the worst fucking UFO abduction story I've ever heard.
He didn't abduct nobody or nothing. He just sat there and minded his own business.
Give you that.
No, he didn't give me no jelly finger.
Around the fire. I didn't used to believe in aliens. I used to think that alien abductions were just like the stuff of like psychotic people's chemical imbalances. And then
What changed that?
Well, I had a conversion experience.
Did you get abducted?
The story is I met Joey. And I realized that this little fucking shitbird motherfucker could not possibly be from this earth. There's no other explanation that guy's got to be from far beyond the moon, man.
I remember one time
no way that guy's human.
I know what you mean. I went
spindly little arms and.
One time I went to a Denny's with Joey and I went in the bathroom and he was in there. And I walked into the stall and he hadn't locked the door and he was in there and he had his trench coat off and he had his shirt was off and he had these big fucking fleshy wings were just like extended out and they were all wet and he was like drying them in the air. I said, "Whoa, goddamn, Joey!"
Joey one time with his shirt off. He was like, changing, and I swear to God, like his heart, like an ET, like you could see it like glowing, like. His
heart's
skin
on
is that translucent. It's like.
His heart's on the outside of his rib cage.
Is that what it is? God, you know what, man? I wish that aliens would fucking abduct me. It's the only way I see out of this mess that I'm in. It's the only way I see out of this emotional and financial fucking boondoggle I've gotten myself into. Is some aliens fucking abduct me and take me so fucking far away from this earth. Otherwise,
maybe one day it'll
happen, I'm fucking screwed. I sit out in my backyard and come on, I'm right here, man. I'm right here. This place is practically a trailer park. Why the fuck don't they come here?
You could dig a little hole and just maybe call them down. I heard they like bread type materials like Wonder Bread, so just lay some of that out.
You're thinking of geese.
Geese might be aliens. I don't know.
Well, we got a guy on the show tonight who says that he's got scientific proof that aliens exist. This guy, Michael Horn, he's the American ambassador, the media representative. This guy, Billy Meyer, the Swiss farmer with only one arm.
Man, I want to hang with this Billy Meyer.
This Billy Meyer, this dude, this like big long beard guy, who lives over in Switzerland. He's been talking to aliens like since he was a little boy.
Yeah.
And he's taken thousands of photos. We're going to show you the pictures. We're going to show you the video he shot. And he's got all these predictions that he made based on what these Pleiadian aliens told him.
Right.
And the guy who Billy Meyer talks to, the only American he talks to, Michael Horn, is going to be right here on the couch a little bit later. He's going to tell us the whole story and give us that video evidence.
I can't wait. Maybe.
It's going to be something. It's beyond dispute, he says, that aliens exist.
He looks like a wild man.
He is. He is. You know what else is beyond dispute?
What?
The legendary customer service at GoDaddy.com. I can't believe it. GoDaddy.com is fucking amazing.
Good people.
That's who hosts my website, SargeWorld.com. If you want great savings on all your web hosting needs, all you got to do is enter the promo code JOEY, and you'll get those savings.
Joey!
Otherworldly savings. Joey cannot possibly be human. He's like, you ever see Close Encounters of... Joey's like Close Encounters of like the 15th kind.
One time I was in a Burger King with Joey, and I was looking the other way. I was kind of hungover. I wasn't paying too much attention. I caught out of the corner of my eye. Joey just, this real long, wet tongue just shot out, and it just grabbed a whaler sandwich that he had in front of him, just sucked it up, and I turned. I said, "God damn it, what was that?" And Joey's, nothing.
He's like, "Didn't you know, man? I don't have a tongue. I have a proboscis." Hey, man.
Joey just ate a whole whaler like that.
All my people do. I'm not of this earth, man. It's cool, man. Anyway, before we talk to Michael Horn, what we got to do is check in with my man from Gainesville, self-defense expert Ricky Kang. He's been counting down his top 5 albums of all time. He's all the way down to number 2 now.
Ricky
so let's
Kang.
go to the compound down in Gainesville and see what Ricky's number 2 album of all time is. Ricky Kang.
Take it, Ricky. Woo, what's up, y'all? It's Ricky Kang here, man. We're still down on the compound in Gainesville, and I'm still counting down my top 5 record albums of all time. Where are we now? We're at number 2. And what's it going to be? It's going to be Black Sabbath Paranoid. This has got to be one of the best albums, one of the most kick motherfucking tear your ass through a drywall, come out just fucking crazy spitting it with a motherfucking hatchet in your hand type of album, man. I used to listen to this before. I had like a heavy pit fight. I did pit fighting for a while, and I used to sit in my Datsun, man. I didn't have a dime, 2 dimes to rub them together. All I had was my fucking 8-track Black Sabbath Paranoid. I'd crank that shit all the way up in my Datsun. It would turn me like into a kind of like a man beast, man. It would just get me all kinds of evil. I'd go in there and I'd just destroy people. You know, one time I broke this dude's arm in like 27 places, man, in a Hardee's. And I used this album as my defense in court, man. The judge was like, "Why'd you do that?" And I said, "Because this motherfucker started fucking with me." I was like, "Big mistake, man. I was just out in the parking lot in my Datsun listening to motherfucking Black Sabbath Paranoid. And you're gonna fuck with me?" Next thing this dude knows, he's laying by the bubble pool with his arm broken 27 places. That's what this stuff does to you, man. Use it with caution, man. Black Sabbath Paranoid, Ricky Kang. Next time, number 1, boy. We'll see you then, man. Woo!
Thank you, Ricky.
Ricky's kind
Quasi-Toto.
He's kind of a Renaissance man.
Quasi-Toto. He is, isn't he? What
Yeah,
can't that man do?
I don't know, man.
Math, maybe?
Maybe he'll do his top 5 math equations after this.
Yeah.
Solve
right.
them on the board.
Coming up, we're going to talk to Michael Horn. He says that he has scientific proof that aliens exist. He's going to tell it to us right here on the couch, right after this word from our sponsor.
The Infected UFO Abductathon is sponsored by the new core-fueled MeatBat 3000 butt plug by Hasbro, made with real space technology. And now a word from our celebrity spokesperson, Mr. Bobby McFerrin. Oh, hi, I'm Bobby McFerrin, and I'm here to tell you that this new MeatBat 3000 butt plug is just fantastic. Staff scientists at Hasbro have been using special UFO technology blueprints acquired from NASA. The plans employ technology that aliens have been using in the making of anal probes for centuries to make the best butt plug on the market today. Basically, the geometry of the upper dome of the plug's flux lines work in concert with the filament tube to compress the envelope of wave packets in a way analogous to a chirp circulatory polarized field. Backscatter tech is also used to act as an additional compressive mechanism to further amplify the amplitude of that moving field. Either way, the much amplified wave packet makes for one hell of a butt fuck. I'm Bobby McFerrin here to say, don't worry, be happy. Use the new MeatBat 3000 butt plug from Hasbro, made with real space technology. Woo, 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 woo.
Infected.
And welcome back to the Infected UFO Abductathon. Billy Meyer is a 70-year-old Swiss one-armed farmer who has been in contact with aliens for much of his life. Aliens that have allowed him to take thousands of photos of their spaceships and also have given him secrets which have allowed him to tell the future. Well, we have here Michael Horn, who is the American ambassador for Billy Meyer. How you doing, Michael? Great to have you here on the Sargecast, man.
Thank you, Martin. Great.
So did I get it right with who Billy Meyer is? I mean, Billy Meyer, he's this old guy. He's living in Switzerland, and he has been in contact with these UFOs from the Pleiades for much of his life.
He claims that since he was 5 years old, he's been meeting with people from a constellation in the direction of the Pleiades, which are themselves uninhabited star systems.
Now, you say he claims, but you are a firm 100% believer in what Billy Meyer says.
Here's the way I answer that. I have been able, through researching the information, to draw only one conclusion, and that is that the case is authentic. There's so much in the case that I can't say that everything is true because so much of it is still in German, my German reading is not that good yet. Everything I've been able to check out, the physical evidence, prophetic evidence, has been flawlessly and impeccably accurate.
Have you ever met Billy Meyer?
Oh, sure. I go over every year.
What's your take? What's your read of him? Does he seem like he's truthful? Obviously, if you are sort of making part of your living as his ambassador, you think that he's on the level.
Well, just to be really clear about it, I do my representational work for the case voluntarily. Okay. I make money if somebody buys one of my DVDs or a book or something, but I do everything else for free. However, to answer your question, I've tried to trick Meyer with a question to see if he was, flubbing something. I've been unable to do that. My take on Meyer is he's a genuine human being, and I think he, like everybody, he's flawed. He's not a perfect being, and that's a relief.
How did you become his ambassador?
I'm sorry.
Well, which is the term that I often see bandied about. You are the ambassador.
Well, I'm the authorized American media representative.
Well,
ambassador.
He looks like a heavy hitter, this Billy.
Billy's a great guy.
What's he like to hang out with? Like, what's he like to do?
Well,
what
we tell jokes.
Night with him?
We sit and sometimes
Is
we'll
he a
tell
big
jokes.
drinker?
No, he's been known in the past to drink. He's a very normal person. He gets angry, doesn't get angry. He works enormously hard. He's constantly transcribing information from these people and publishing it. And he is basically just, if you didn't know that this was a man who's supposedly has regular visits with extraterrestrials, you wouldn't know it was a man who was just a very unassuming guy otherwise.
He's taken thousands of photos of these flying saucers.
About 1,200 altogether, 8 films, video.
One of the problems that a lot of people have when they look at these things is, well, they look kind of like hubcaps in many cases that people have just sort of thrown in the air. And that is to say that they have that aesthetic of the 1950s sci-fi film.
I say Jules Verne meets Leonardo da Vinci.
Exactly. And people will say, well, obviously Billy Meyer just got this into his imagination by watching these kind of films. And you say?
I say, so far to date, nobody has been able to duplicate one of his photos. And I've challenged the top international professional skeptics, model makers, photographers, and I mean, I've been running this challenge with them directly for now 6 years. None of them, they come up with little photos of models, none of which have any detail on them, and they just won't pass muster. Meyer's photos were tested under very strict parameters. We even have a film, there's a film made 20-some years ago showing the testing, some photos through computer analysis, and these are real objects. They're not little models. They have thermographic signatures, the pixels on the end, and where things fade, and the contours, and stuff that exceeds my technical understanding was done to analyze, but clearly.
And this is some guy, he's a Swiss farmer. He's not some Photoshop expert. Photoshop didn't even exist when he was doing this sort of thing.
Didn't even have a home computer.
How would it be possible for him to have done that way back then out in the fields?
He was in 1964, he was in India, and he took photographs in India. And then in 1998, a woman came forward who had been at this ashram where Meyer was visiting.
Okay, so this is getting interesting.
Oh,
He's not
we have
just
witnesses.
Some Swiss sheep farmer or something.
No.
This guy's sort of an out
I knew it about this guy, man. He looked like
eating the magic mushrooms, the soma, and stuff like that, perhaps.
Let me ask you, does he like to ride like dune buggies or anything like that?
Moped. He's a one-armed moped driver, and that's what made the whole thing even more fantastic. He's going out in the middle of the night, and he shot a hole through a tree, allegedly with a laser weapon. We have photographs of it.
A real laser weapon?
Mm-hmm. They loaned him a laser weapon on 2
Who
occasions.
loaned him?
Yeah, they came down, loaned him an antique for them, 600-year-old silly-looking laser weapon. He put a couple holes in trees. The investigators came by, and they thought, well, he must have drilled the hole. And then they said, wait a minute, the hole is oval, and it's smooth as glass. It goes all the way through. Let's take a string. They ran the string all the way into the forest. Everything was singed all the way until where it hits a hill. And then one of the investigators was there just after one of these folks had apparently let him use the weapon, and they took it back up. And Meyer's sitting there with a smoldering piece of wood with the sap bubbling, and the investigator's looking at the thing going, how the heck did you do that? He says, well, he points up 30 feet up in the tree. There's a branch that he severed off.
Did he show him that gun, that laser beam?
Only photos and films of it. But
you got to be so jealous. Don't you want to meet these aliens? I mean, I want to meet these aliens.
Well, let's put it this way. I've had the opportunity to sit and spend time with Billy. They come and talk to him. So he's probably on their level. They ain't going to meet with me, but if I get a chance to talk to Billy, maybe I get a little contact.
Let's take a look at one of the videos. It's not just still photography. He's also shot some videos.
It was a film, actually, with film.
This is one where we're taking a look at it right now. It's this flying saucer, and it's going around and around and around. And a lot of people say that this is just somebody who is swinging a hubcap or a frisbee type device around. And why isn't it that?
Sure.
Well, maybe Billy was in there driving it himself, about half cocked up on some beer or something like that,
and photographing and filming it at the same time. Well, the thing is, when on the page on the website, you can actually read a description of part of the analysis of that, where they were able to triangulate and figure that it would have been impossible for the movement of the ship, the object, let's just give it the benefit of the doubt, and from where it would have been suspended. Plus, when you observe that spinning, you'll notice that the craft comes up and hangs. And then it moves, and then it stops and reverses and goes around, and the treetop moves. And this drives the skeptics absolutely nuts. They go completely crazy. It's got to be some... But then another investigator said, well, he would have needed a 25-foot pole. Then we've got a film with 3 of the objects in broad daylight in a distance right behind a tree branch. Then you've got another one that goes zip and disappears behind a hill and flies back up. So the skeptics are going, it's got to be a model tree and a model UFO. They had MGM Special Effects Studios made a model. We have it on film. We're going to have it in our movie probably. And you can see it's a beautiful model. You can just tell the difference. They walk it around. You say, wait a minute, that's not that. Because in another film we've got, which we'll have in our movie, the UFO comes in and 2 lights in broad daylight alternate off it. And here's the kicker. I took the films and the photos to the guys that won the Academy Award for special effects for Independence Day. I showed it to them. I said, now tell me. The skeptics told me that this is a model that... I couldn't finish it. They both broke out laughing. He said, that's not a model. Those aren't models. We know models. Those aren't models. I said, well, could you duplicate this? And the guy says, if we can duplicate it, we've got to go to CGI. When did he make the film? I said, 1976. They said, oh.
And that movie sucked, though. You got to admit it.
You know what?
Kind of shit.
Yeah, but these guys do multi-million-dollar special effects.
Let's watch it one more time. Let's add the audio. Sure. This is not taken at the same time, but
different audio.
Let's listen to this for a second here. And again, the skeptics say this is right out of a 1950s sci-fi film, man. This is like when the doors open and close and the Starship Enterprise and everything like that. That's what it sounds like on the bridge of the Enterprise.
There's a problem.
Yeah.
7 separate sound engineers, 2 from studios, 1 studio in L.A., 1 studio in San Diego, the Naval Undersea Labs back on the East Coast.
All people there.
They took the sounds, analyzed them, put on an oscilloscope, put on spectrum analyzers, and they found the following. That there were so many frequencies interacting at the same time, making unique patterns, that they could not, A, identify the sound source, and the Naval Undersea Labs have a record of virtually every piece of equipment in the world that makes a sound. They could identify 2 other planes that were recorded at the same time, just happened to fly around. They couldn't identify that, and the kicker is, none of the sound studios could duplicate it, and that remains true to this day. That's why we've posted the sounds for free on the site. If anybody, you put that up on a scope and you start figuring out, now you try to duplicate and get all that information to happen, you've got to go to synthesizers.
You know who I bet could do it? You know that guy from the Police Academy movies who can make all those crazy noises?
Yeah, but he's the only one.
I bet he could do it. That's probably him.
That's not fair.
All right. Now, okay, people can dispute.
Then there's metal
stuff,
samples too. Yeah.
There's the predictions.
Yeah.
The prognostications. The things that Meyer was told by these aliens, which have come to pass. Lots of them.
Now, how did it... Go ahead.
The one that we want to focus on here is what's going on right now. You say that essentially the Bush administration is following a script.
Unwittingly, perhaps.
Unwittingly, but The government might know. Some people say that the government actually knows about the Meyer stuff.
It is now known about in the higher levels of virtually every intelligence and governmental agency in the world that has any clout. They know, and they won't talk about it. But
so, and that's another thing, because if they know, then why are they following the script to destruction? Now, let me this that you say in 1958. This is an exact translation of what Billy Meyer wrote in German after hearing it from these aliens.
Well,
right?
This is one of 160 specific things in this text.
This is just one, and I'm going to read it for you. In Iraq, a war will be led through the United States of America, through their country's president. However, this will be without success, for which reason one of his sons, who will likewise be the USA's head of power, will, in the third millennium, unleash a second war in Iraq, which will ultimately lead to an unbelievable disaster and to torturing, as well as to mass murder through U.S. armed forces and the rebellious.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going on.
It's just
That's pretty much hit the nail on the head right there.
And you say
1958.
1958. How the fuck can you prove, though, that was actually in 1958? Are there any documents that go back that far? How do I know that you or somebody else didn't just post that up on the website
That's a fair and honest question, and let me answer it in a funny way for you. Remember, I just threw in this line that there's 160 specific predictions in here. There are other documents on my website with predictions. For instance, I think you may have gotten a copy of a DVD that I did in 1984. On that DVD, I referred to predictions from Meyer from 1981 and 87 that foretold a number of things, including riots in Paris that would lead to looting, arson, murder, and the inhabitants of the Islamic faith would be the ones responsible for it, the rebellious of that faith. In 2005, October, November of 2005, those riots took place in Paris with the looting, the burning, the murder, and it was and continues, though we don't get a lot of coverage in news, it was the rebellious elements of some Islamic fundamentalists in France, in Paris, that did that. Now, Paris wasn't burned to the ground, and France had not yet, and I use the word yet, hopefully never, but hasn't yet fallen, as is further predicted by Meyer. But I already had that on my DVD in 2004 from the 1981 and 87 information. It didn't happen until a year and a half after it's on my DVD. Now, likewise, there are many documents in books or that have been disseminated around the world in now 5 or 6 languages where every sentence, no matter what language, they are numbered sentences when these alleged extraterrestrials speak and give them information. And so specific predictions that were given to him starting back in the 1950s and then the 70s and all of this have been typed out. Some are in books, some are on DVDs, some are in these transcripts that are all over the world. But in every contact number, such and such, sentence 7, it says the same thing in every language.
Do you think you could put in a call to him and see whether he thinks he could tell me if Chauncey's girl's going to win at the dog races this Saturday?
Well, I'll tell you something. In order to do that, and I could call him next week.
That would be
Can we call him right now, actually?
I think they're asleep.
That'd be a big
It's early in the morning.
That's convenient.
Yeah, I know. About that dog race thing, let's talk about it afterwards. Maybe that's what we can do.
And I alluded to it earlier. Okay, so he's made all these predictions. Well, what he says is going to happen next is really scary. That's really fucked up. Are these predictions, though, are they going to come to pass? Is this deterministic? Do they have to happen? First of all, tell us what he says is going to happen next, and then answer the second part of my question. Can we change that?
We do not have to fulfill the destruction foretold. There's a document that your viewers can look at, linked, which says prophecies on my website there. The Enoch prophecies, it talks about what's coming to this country, the USA, and other countries, if we don't change. And the number one thing, and this falls on the head a lot of your generation. Mine, if you will, have screwed up a lot of stuff, like the one before perhaps, and so it's always handed over. But now we're in a place where your viewers, your listeners, your people who are so savvy and can move around the internet and all this technology can organize and spread the word all over the place to start.
Viewers are high and drunk.
Well, okay, I was giving him a benefit of the doubt. However, moving right along, this is where the change takes place. It comes from the bottom up. It no longer will come from the top down. That's co-opted. It's sold out. It's hopeless. What we are told in these prophecies and predictions, if the U.S. does not withdraw from Iraq and all of the places where we are based, we will get the result of a third world war here that will be so completely devastating that we cannot imagine it. And we don't have to have it. My personal mission is to help prove these prophecies wrong by getting enough people to wake up and at least look at the information and see what happens in your head. A simple thing like this thing on my website up here that shows this peace symbol is upside down for 30 years. Oh, what does that matter? It matters because symbols are powerful and important. If you frown, you give one message. If you smile, you give another. The peace symbol that we're carrying is a sword of death. Literally, it's an old ancient symbol for death. You turn it right side up and you get this. It's the tree of life.
That's it.
That's it. And you might think, oh, we've got a bunch of people out there just kicking back. But you may be right. I hope they're kicking instead of just kicking back.
They're kicking. We got a very engaged audience, and they're going to be even more engaged now that we've heard you explain all this to us, Michael. But before you go real quick.
What's he say about the McRib? Is that going to come back?
That's priority information right now.
But before you go, I also want, you're not only the American ambassador, media representative Bill Mott, you're also a fitness expert. You do the sit and get fit line of videos.
Right.
Can you teach us real quick one way that we can sit?
Lord
we
knows
got a lot
I
of
need a little
people
help
who use
with
the
that.
computers.
Okay.
They got big ass. How can we sit and get fit?
All
real
right.
quick.
Look, you can only get partially fit sitting. We know that, but there's some key things you can do. The simplest thing, if you want to do one thing, do spinal circles. And what that means is you sit,
Okay, here we
you
go.
relax, you put your hands down, and you start to gently, slowly make a small circle with the torso.
Does Billy Meyer do this? He's
I'll
got
have
a
to
big
check.
fat stomach, I noticed.
He does. He's got a tummy. So
Here we go.
and
That
then
feels
you get
good.
it so that eventually you're swooping down very low, yeah?
Yeah, I don't swoop too good.
And then you reverse it.
You guys at home, I hope you're all doing this too.
After all this doom and gloom, we've got to kind of clear the sinuses.
Yeah. Here we go.
What's Billy do with those aliens? He didn't like any orgy type things or anything like that?
Haven't heard of that.
Beyonce's pretty hot. I'd fuck her.
But what's he do, though?
Well, he speaks with them. He travels around. They take him to places.
Are they nice, or what are they like? Are they just like...
Well, he says that they're real human beings and they know the difference between, let's say, love and not love. What we do down here.
I do too, and I can feel the love in the
Flowing
room
through that
tonight.
sign, right?
Thank you so much, Michael Horn.
My
Thank
pleasure.
You
Thank you,
so
Martin.
much for being here on the show and explaining
Hey,
all this
thank you,
to
Jim.
us. That was fantastic. All right, everyone, you've got to check out his website. It is theyfly.com.
And the movie's coming out.
And the movie is coming out,
Right.
too. All the answers.
Yeah.
Michael, thank you so much for being here. All right, coming up after the break, entertainment reporter Johnny O'Banion is going to be here. He's going to tell us which Hollywood celebrities are actually aliens. Right after this word from our sponsor.
The Infected UFO Abductathon is sponsored by the new core-fueled MeatBat 3000 butt plug by Hasbro, made with real space technology.
Hello, I'm Dr. Siegfried Hielenstadt, creator of the MeatBat 3000 butt plug from Hasbro. When I first started studying the alien blueprints for the assembly of anal probes back in 1983, I'd never dreamt that one day I'd use that very technology to manufacture the most sophisticated butt plug on the planet Earth. It wasn't until through my research into alien space technology I realized that a packet of electromagnetic waves when ejected tangentially out of a cavity will be stretched wave packet. And when it leaves the rim and rounds the upper dome shell, that stretched wave packets begin to compress as it curls around the dome, through smaller curvature towards the dome's apex. Right then I said to myself, Eureka! This will make the world's best butt plug. And it has. The MeatBat 3000. I've got one in right now, and it feels fucking great.
The new MeatBat 3000 butt plug from Hasbro, made with real space technology. Pick one up today.
Infected. Infected. Infected.
Infected.
Infected.
Infected.
What in the blue-purple fuck?
Gator, we've been watching you.
What the hell do you want?
Gator, we want you to come with us and we'll teach you the secrets of the universe.
Y'all got TV up there? Because I want to watch Cops tonight.
We will get a TV terminal for you.
You don't want to take my kidney, do you, buddy?
Your kidneys are worthless, Gator. They barely function. We just want you to teach us how to pick up hot cougar women who like to have sex in public restrooms.
Well, shit, I can do that with my eyes closed. Y'all got any beer?
We have Grolsch.
Fuck that German shit, man. I only drink Fall City.
We'll pick some up.
All right, but I gotta finish this show. You come meet me after by the overpass where the I-70 crosses 65.
See you there, my friend.
Hold up, man. We ain't friends yet, Cochise. Just get that beer and a pack of GNC 100 menthols, and I'll see you there. Now turn off that damn light, man. You're ruining my gator time.
Yes, Gator.
Gator, what the fuck was that?
I don't like to talk about it. Let's just move it along, man. I don't want to talk about it, all right?
You believe that Michael Horn is a fitness instructor? Sit and get fit? He does those videos? He's a fit little man.
Well, I started to get a little grab ass with him during the break there, and the motherfucker put me up against the drywall. He's a strong little dude. Put me right fucking, almost put my face through the drywall. Bit my arm
he's a
behind my
peaceful
back.
man. Michael Horn would not do that.
That's when you were in the shitter, man. He almost took my fucking arm and twisted it off at the nub.
Put you in a chicken wing?
Don't fuck with him.
I gotta get those fitness videos though. But you know, speaking of videos,
I think he's CIA.
Netflix.com. If you like videos, that's the place to go. We got a deal for you. www.netflix.com/infected. We're gonna give you 2 weeks for free on the Netflix. You can rent all the movies about aliens you want, with no late fees at all. All you got to do is order them off the internet. They send them to you. You watch them, keep them as long as you want. Prepaid mail or drop it in the mailbox. Bam, they're gone. It must be some alien technology they use. That's Netflix for you. www.netflix.com/infected. It is out of this world.
They have HD and Blu-ray too. DVDs.
Dave, just
HD
press
and Blu-ray. Do they really, Dave Chung?
Yeah.
You know all that technology stuff, don't you?
Okay, move along.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. Speaking out of this world, Johnny O'Banion, our man in the canyon, he's our entertainment reporter. He says that he's got a bead on what celebrities are actually aliens in this installment of View from the Canyon. Johnny.
And welcome to View from the Canyon with Johnny O'Banion.
Hello, this is Johnny O'Banion coming to you live on the tippity top of a lovely Laurel Canyon, Los Angeles, California, with all the entertainment news you need to know. First off, news flash! Everybody in the Glitter Bowl is talking about the UFOs. What's that sound up in the sky? Do you hear it? Inside your mind, making your skin tingle, your eyes swelling like grapes in a microwave. That high and lonesome digital whine, that exotic pulsar tone that makes all the animals shudder and weep, makes the fruit explode and rain down from the trees in fiery gobbets, turns the thin and useless lapdogs of Beverly Hills into twitching devils of froth-fanged evil, writhing on the sidewalks until their hearts explode and their brains boil in their thin-boned poodle skulls. It's the humming super turbines of the alien spacecraft, baby! Yes, children of the stars, celestial mystery men, bug-eyed and hungry for God knows what. Maybe they're here to harvest our organs for fertilizer in some high-tech deep space blood farm tucked away on the far side of the solar system. Ring them bells, ring them, cause doom's a calling. Start chain smoking, drink as much as you can, cause we're tumbling down the stairs and there's a viper in the basement. And the name of that viper? Space Alien. Yes, whatever the hell they're up to, yes, you guessed it, the Glitter Bowl is crawling with amped up alien groove cats. And celebrities are skittish as corn-fed cattle on the killing floor. But who are these aliens? What do they want? And how can we recognize them? Thankfully, that's pretty easy. Look into their eyes, watch what they do, and also spray them with paprika. Paprika, that delicious Hungarian spice. Yes, where is it? Where is it? Oh my gosh, there it is. Paprika, 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 paprika. Hungarian paprika. Yes, paprika, that delicious Hungarian spice often used in poultry and potato dishes. Yes, if you want to fuck up an alien, spray them with that red powdery seasoning known as paprika. The other day, I was hanging out with Angie Dickinson. I sprayed her with paprika and she went ballistic, staggering and gibbering around my patio like an electrocuted chicken. And in fact, it got so disturbing I had to go inside and lock the doors. Does this prove that Angie Dickinson is one of the alien visitors sent by the celestial technocrats sent to dominate us and steal our fluids? Yes, it sure does. This morning, I drove up to Malibu, and when I got there, I stopped into Neptune's Net for a clamwich. Guess who I ran into? Known alien Gary Busey, and I sprayed him with a fine powdery mist of paprika, 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 fresh Hungarian paprika. And guess what happened? That's right, he flipped out. And then things got really weird because everybody flipped out. And that's when I knew the aliens are everywhere. In our restaurants, on our beaches, on our television sound stages, inside our toll booths and roadside vegetable stands, picking strawberries, flying their aircraft in the skies, making small batch cheeses. God knows what else. Save me. Save me from the predations of the sky people. Please, God, save me now. And thank you. I am Johnny O'Banion, coming to you live at the Tiffany top of lovely Laurel Canyon, Los Angeles, California, with all the entertainment news you need to know. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Johnny. Illuminating, as always.
Johnny O'Banion's hooked in, man. That dude's hooked in deep.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I like that guy.
Unbelievable. Mark McGrath ain't got shit on Johnny O'Banion when it comes to entertainment reporting. That's for damn sure. Lisa Givens, for her.
Billy Bush.
Well, that's all the time we got for the special infected UFO abductathon. I'd like to thank our guest, Michael Horn.
Hey, aren't you going to tell a story?
No, we ain't got time for a story, man.
I think we do.
I don't think so. I mean,
Martin, I almost got abducted in your backyard, and you're going to tell me a damn story because life is precious and short. And
all right. One short story. A story about aliens. This is the story of Englok Plog, the alien who lost his touch. Once upon a time, there was an alien named Englok Plog, though he liked to be called Perry for short. Perry was one of those gray aliens, the kind with the large heads, big eyes, and stalk-like arms, who are well known for abducting and performing medical experiments on Earthlings. And he did it better than anyone. Slicing, probing, implanting, you name it, he was on top of it. But starting around 8 or 9 years ago, every time Perry would show up at some trailer park to abduct someone, just like he'd always done, he'd end up getting his ass kicked. He wasn't doing anything different, but no sooner would he sneak up on some toothless hillbilly in their dilapidated trailer than the guy or girl would swing on him, punching him hard upside his large alien head, forcing him to abort the abduction. "What is wrong with me?" thought Perry. "I never used to have a problem abducting people. They never even put up a fight, just shaking terror as I probed their filthy a-holes." Perry started talking with other aliens in the IRC chat rooms, and it turned out they were all having the same problem. For some reason, every time they set upon someone for a good old-fashioned abduction, the victim would turn the tables, kicking their spindly little asses like a fat bully does the schoolyard pipsqueak. Well, what the aliens would have realized if they ever did successfully abduct someone again and start performing those medical tests was that the people in the trailer parks were completely fucked up on crystal meth, making them unable to sleep, always alert, and unbelievably dangerous. In a word, impossible to abduct. The end.
That reminds me of my cousin Tammy.
She and alien are fucked up on meth.
She didn't sleep for 14 days once. And she thought that aliens were after her and everything. I think she was one of those people that was swinging on Perry. She slept with a fucking shovel. You just don't. You don't even want to go. You go in that trailer park. Doesn't matter if you're her birth mother. You didn't want to mess with those people. That meth.
Meth is bad, people. Hugs, not drugs. Well, that really is all the time we have the Infected UFO Abductathon. I'd like to thank my guests, Johnny O'Banion, Ricky Kang, and Michael Horn. This is Martin Sargent for The Gator, reminding you, don't get ripped by the riptide.
You mess with Michael, you're going to get the horns.
We'll see you at the bar.
You've been watching and listening to Infected. If you're still listening, you're infected. But what you might not know is that now when you lay back in your filthy little bed and let the darkness wash over you, there could be a light that shines through your Phoenician blinds. And that light is an alien that's coming down for you. So just lay still, just lay there and let the warm light wash over you while the little gray men come in and they probe you. They reach deep inside of you. Just trust me. You're infected now. So instead of being terrified, it's going to feel quite good. You've been watching Infected. You're infected.
Infected is written by Martin Sargent, Jay Speiden, and Stewart Engesser. Camera and audio by Dave Chung and Han Choi. Edited by Glenn Mechalodes. Music composed by Kevin MacLeod. For more, go to SargeWorld.com and join us on MySpace at myspace.com/infected by Martin Sargent.